Well, for more on Nigeria's bid to host the Commonwealth Games, I'm now joined by Shehu Dikko, the Chairman, National Sports Commission. Thank you very much for joining us on Newsnight. Well, let me quote what President Tinubu said concerning this bid. He says, it's a dream that must be realized. Well, you led the delegation to London to present the bid. Talk to us about this bid and what Nigeria is putting forward to actually win this. How optimistic are we that we can get it? Good to have you on Newsnight.
Well, thank you very much, and it's my pleasure to join you. Yes, of course, we were in London yesterday, and it's part of the process of the bidding. The process is quite a detailed, long process. Earlier in August, we were here in London where we held what we called the collaborative meeting with the Commonwealth to decide the parameters for the bid. And we submitted the bid August 31st, and by August 18, 19, the Commonwealth evaluation team were in Nigeria where they met relevant parties, government officials, and inspected the facilities that we proposed. And then now we are here in London as a final phase to defend the bid, our proposals, and what we propose, and what we say we are going to do, and have a answer and question session to now between us and the evaluation committees so that they can move to the next phase, which is by next month, to now evaluate and decide what to recommend to the whole Congress of the Commonwealth so they can take a decision by November. So this is where we are, and we are very optimistic and confident. We came here with a very solid delegation. We are able to put a very strong pitch, I believe. And of course, Mr. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, is quite determined about it, and his own intervention and his own message to the bid committee is quite vital to the final decision that will be taken. So I believe we have met the requirement, and we are quite very, very optimistic. This time around, it will not be like what happened in 2009 when Nigeria bidded to host the 2014 and we are not able to make it. Probably we have done the groundwork, and hopefully it's going to be positive at the end of the day.
Yeah, you've done the groundwork. How much work really has gone in? I mean, you say you're ready, willing, and able, but how ready is Nigeria? 2030 is 5 years from now. How ready is Nigeria to host this event that's never been hosted on African soil in 100 years of the Commonwealth? How ready is Nigeria? And what exactly does Nigeria stand to gain from hosting this event if it eventually wins the bid?
Well, we are very ready because, the Commonwealth hosting of the Games has been reset. The Commonwealth Games now have a new structure of the way they want to host the Games. They actually don't want countries to go on building new facilities, new structures just for the Games. They want you to use your existing facilities and what you have already to host the Games, except the new facilities you are building is something that is already in your national developmental plan. So, and I believe based on these principles, if you look at what we have in Abuja, because we are proposing to do most of the Games in Abuja and then some few in Lagos, we already have all the facilities in place that we can do it. The Abuja National Stadium can host almost 10 sports among the 16 sports that are being proposed for the Games, while Lagos will host 3, while we can host other 3 within Abuja and stuff like that. So we have the facilities available. We just need to upgrade them and put them in the right shape, which is actually what we're already doing. It's already part of our budget. It's what we plan to do already with or without the Commonwealth. So we are on the right track on that. So I believe 70% of what we need to host the Games are available. The rest is there. And fundamentally, Mr. President issued a personal guarantee to the Commonwealth to say, yes, if we give this to Nigeria, we are going to make this happen. All the relevant agencies and ministers who are involved in this have issued their guarantees to the Commonwealth to say, yes, we provide the enablers to get this done. So we are already on that part of the day. And, hosting this major event is quite a decisive moment, and can be a catalyst that will unlock the potentials of a country and open the country to the world and creating wealth, creating new infrastructure, putting the country, creating the soft power, and putting the country in the best shape that it should be. That is why all the countries in the world are angling to host one major event or the other. You can see, for example, even 2 days ago, I think, Donald Trump, in his speech at the United Nations, one of the main positive of his speech was telling the world that the United States are going to host the 2026 FIFA World Cup and the 2028 Olympics. So meaning that they are very proud to have it, and they are opening their country in that light. So the benefit that will arise in Nigeria if you're able to host this game is quite large, is quite vast, both above the line and below the line. Most importantly, we're going to create wealth, and across all the pillars of wealth creation through sports, like the sport wealth, for example, diplomatic wealth, economic wealth, cultural wealth, social wealth, all are going to come together to make sure that the benefits are sustainable. And of course, the legacies that we'll have after the hosting will live far for a very long time. The Abuja Stadium today stands because we hosted the Africa game in 2003. The Games Village in Abuja, most of the roads in Abuja, hospitals, and so many things that were put together.
Okay.
It's going to happen like that. So,
all right, very
so I
quickly,
believe
very
the benefit
quickly.
is incredible.
Yes, I mean, great points you've made there as to what Nigeria stands to benefit. But have you had a sit down to factor what exactly it will cost Nigeria in naira and kobo terms, or if you like, in dollar and cents? I mean, and what in terms of money Nigeria will gain beyond the cultural, and all the other points that you've raised?
Well, if you look at it, I tell you, we already have more than 70%, 80% of the facilities we needed. So it's not going to cost that kind of money building new things. And then, of course, we are going to work, our plan is to work more to get the private sector to come on board and be part of the games. And of course, we are working very hard to create the National Sports Development Fund. It is already in the National Assembly, have passed the second reading. So that fund is supposed to even raise funding to the private sector through other means that will be deployed through this process. So at the end of the day, between now and 2030, we will be in a very top shape to get all the resources needed, mostly for the private sector and also through the fund that we are creating. So I don't think it's going to cost something that is astronomical beyond Nigeria. And of course, even the Commonwealth themselves now have decided that hosting of the games should be reset to less than 40% of what it used to cost before. That's one of the conditions they have. So they also realize that it has to be within affordable means. And we believe we are very, very, very much capable to do that.
Right, and that's a good place to leave it. Thank you very much. Malam Shehu Dikko is the Chairman, National Sports Commission, joining us tonight on Nigeria's bid for the 2030 Commonwealth Games. If Nigeria does win, it will be the first time in 100 years that an African country will be hosting the Games.